December's Kansas City transformed into football's epicenter, where the atmosphere crackled with electric intensity and Arrowhead Stadium pulsed like a living force as Travis Kelce emerged from the tunnel after the Chiefs' bye week. His focus razor-sharp and determination etched across his features, while the sting of Buffalo's devastating defeat still burned fresh in his memory. That loss having shattered their promising 3-game winning streak and left the legendary tight end with statistics he desperately wanted to forget. Just 4 catches for 66 yards, marking his weakest performance since September's sleepy encounter against the Giants. Numbers that served as painful fuel for a player whose reputation thrived on pride and production. The Denver Broncos waded across the field representing division rivalry and playoff implications, while their defense had evolved into one of the league's most intimidating units under their rookie quarterback, who was eager to prove himself capable of handling Arrowhead's notorious pressure. Both teams entered the AFC West matchup in need of a victory for their own reasons. The Broncos to stay in the race for the division title and the Chiefs to stay alive in the race for a wild card spot. https://www.foxnews.com/sports/chiefs-travis-kelce-during-pivotal-divisional matchup. And from the opening kickoff, the stadium vibrated with anticipation as Chiefs fans still nursing wounds from recent disappointments roared with renewed hope, while scattered Broncos supporters throughout the sea of red maintained cautious optimism, understanding this represented more than just another game, but rather a battle for AFC West control and seasonal narrative dominance. The first quarter unfolded with characteristic rivalry intensity, featuring bone-jarring collisions and near misses where every yard required fierce competition. The Broncos' defense swarming with relentless energy while attempting to stifle Mahomes' efforts to break free from their aggressive coverage. Yet if Denver represented the immovable object, then Kelce remained determined to become the unstoppable force that would shatter their defensive schemes. Late in the second quarter, tension reached critical mass when Mahomes faced pressure and scrambled before finding Kelce across the middle for a crucial 10-yard gain. Kelce brought in his second catch of the game and helped the Chiefs get a first down on a 10-yard catch. Several Broncos players were needed to bring Kelce down, including McMillian, who went over the top and landed on the tight end's chest. Though the play appeared routine by NFL standards, what happened next definitely wasn't routine at all. As Kelce got back up, he and McMillian were in each other's faces. Some curse words seemed to be exchanged as they went back into their respective huddles. As Kelce rose from the tackle, Broncos cornerback Jaquan McMillian, normally composed and rarely penalized, barreled into Kelce's chest, knocking the wind from him and igniting a fire that would burn throughout the remaining contest. In a flash, Kelce jumped to his feet, going helmet to helmet with McMillian as words flew and eyes blazed wild. Teammates rushed in and coaches shouted from sidelines. Yet for one suspended moment, time seemed frozen as the stadium caught between gasps and shouts, watched two men refusing to back down. The officials let the moment linger without throwing flags and tacit acknowledgement that sometimes football involves as much heart as rules enforcement. Though everyone understood the NFL's disciplinary eyes would be watching closely and fines might follow, while reputations could be remade in single moments like these. For Kelce, the confrontation represented nothing new since his career featured a litany of passion and penalties, with his fines tallying up to substantial amounts over the years. But for McMillian, this marked uncharted territory since joining Denver, as he joined Denver as an undrafted free agent out of East Carolina in 2022. He had avoided the league's disciplinary wrath by flying under the radar as a reliable but unspectacular piece of their resurgent defense. That changed instantly, and as cameras found his face, it became clear this game meant everything to the young defender, who was ready to stand toe-to-toe with one of the game's greatest players without backing down even slightly. Hit that subscribe button if you want to see more incredible NFL confrontations and dramatic moments that define championship seasons. The rest of the first half played out like a professional prize fight, where every snap brought new collisions and every whistle seemed to echo with memories of that earlier clash. In the Chiefs' huddle, Kelce's voice rang out, urging teammates to channel frustration into surgical precision while meeting violence with controlled execution. On the Broncos sideline, McMillian's teammates rallied behind him, as their own resolve hardened into steel-like determination. The halftime whistle provided relief and served as a warning that the real battle was just beginning to unfold in the second half. The third quarter became a masterclass in controlled chaos as Mahomes, sensing the urgency, began leaning on Kelce more heavily, while threading passes through impossibly tight defensive windows. The Denver secondary responded by doubling Kelce and roughing him at the line, while daring referees to intervene with flag throws. Every catch transformed into a significant event, and every tackle became a referendum on professional pride. Even when Kelce found himself swarmed by multiple defenders, he fought for every available inch while dragging tacklers and igniting crowd enthusiasm. The earlier skirmish with McMillian lingered in everyone's minds as it was replayed on the Jumbotron and dissected by commentators while being debated by passionate fans throughout the stadium. Questions hung in the air like smoke about whether the NFL would step in with discipline and if the next major hit might spark another heated confrontation between these two determined competitors. As the final quarter began, stakes had never been higher since both teams knew that a single mistake could spell season-ending disaster, and every possession carried the potential to tip the delicate balance of championship aspirations. For Kelce, the game became a proving ground not just for physical prowess, but for leadership qualities under extreme pressure. He blocked with reckless abandon while running crisp routes and offering encouragement mixed with tough love when necessary. The Chiefs, drawing energy from his intensity, found a new gear as their battered but unbowed offense began discovering cracks in Denver's seemingly impenetrable defensive wall. Meanwhile, McMillian and the Broncos refused to yield ground as their rookie quarterback, once wide-eyed, had transformed into a cool and composed field general who kept the chains moving. The defense, inspired by McMillian's defiant stand, played with visible chips on their shoulders while landing bone-jarring hits and talking smack as they dared the Chiefs to respond with equal intensity. Tension became palpable, and the outcome remained uncertain as both teams battled with everything they possessed. With 2 minutes remaining, the Chiefs trailed by 4 points, and Mahomes, as he had accomplished so many times before, led his team onto the field while the crowd rose to its feet, and the stadium noise became almost unbearable in its intensity. First down saw Kelce working over the middle and stretching desperately for a critical gain that kept hopes alive.